There it is, all tack welded in place temporarily, so I can test it out. And I'm going to have to break it down again to fit it inside the casing, the air compressor chamber. This is just a piece of crap chimney that I got laying around because I don't have a new piece of chimney yet. This is just to test it out. Burn chamber, heat exchange chamber here, and updraft tube behind here, feed tube, fuel cartridge, what have you. It's going to be shorter than that. It's going to be right around there probably. The top of the casing, it'll just stick up just a little bit beyond that so I can put a lid on it. Keep it airtight so it doesn't burn up into the fuel cartridge. And yep, so I'm going to light this up, I'm going to test it, and I need to make a cover for this ash clean out for the chimney. Yeah, I did weld this all together because there's a lot of air gap and I want to make sure it burns well without that extra air coming in right here. So I'm going to have that nice and tight so I can configure the screen in here for the optimum airflow and see if I can get this thing rolling. Alright. Well, I got it all put together, tack welded, and I've got the fire started in there. I've actually been fooling around with it for a little while, and you can see all the parts working like they're supposed to. We got the feed fuel cartridge, which is going to be shorter. It's going to be like, I don't know, 8 inches shorter than it is right now, and it's going to have an airtight lid on it, which is what this is simulating, because it does let smoke out, and it's going to reverse the feed if you open it. And then we got the burn tube, we got the heat exchange tube here, which I've just capped off with a piece of concrete because that's going to be sealed by the heat exchanger. And then the chimney, and it's burning full speed right now and ain't nothing coming out. It's kind of draws pretty good, and I was fooling around with it earlier and I had this piece of old chimney here instead, and as you can see, it's much shorter, and at first I didn't realize why it wasn't drawing as well as it should be, and then I realized that my chimney's too short, and also I had left the clean out open. Listen to that. See what happens? Smoke starts coming out as soon as I shut that. Starts sucking back up. And I just totally spaced on that. I was like, oh, what? Why isn't it working? This sucks. But it's working pretty good right now. The feed cartridge works pretty well. Definitely have to pack it right if you're using sticks and firewood size stuff. And I haven't made the grate. I need to make some kind of grate or basket for burning wood chips. It's going to have to be a special shape so that, you know, they don't compact too much and shut airflow down, and that they, you know, burn well and fall down from the tube consistently. That's, I'm going to get everything here working right, and then I'm going to mess around with the wood chip aspect of it. But for now, I think my next project is to start putting together the heat exchanger and put that in there, see if that works. And then I can put it inside the outer body and insulate it, because that's the other thing it doesn't have right now, is insulation around the burn chamber and the updraft. So it's actually, I'm hoping, gonna draft even stronger once it's insulated, and then the fire will burn better. It'll be easier to start. Right now it's a little hard to start because it's cooling it off. It's really quickly, you know, all that air pulling in is almost blowing the fire out. It's sort of a self-limiting thing. Till you get it up to a certain temperature and you get a lot of nice coals in there, then you can kind of throw anything you want in there, it'll burn. Not to mention, the wood I have laying around has been outside and it just rained, so it's not the driest wood either. But anyway, that's progress so far. So just for giggles, I dumped a bunch of wood chips into the fuel cartridge, and it seems to be burning quite happily. So I think with the grate that comes up in the front here to sort of slant the chips towards the back so they roll towards the back and don't fall out the front, I think it'll burn quite handily with just wood chips. And as you can see, it's burning pretty good there. There's still some smoke coming out of here from the fuel cartridge here, because it's kind of acting like a like a gasifier. The fire's creeping up into the tube there, but it can't really, it runs out of oxygen, so it's kind of turning all the chip into charcoal before it even hits the fire. So once it hits the fire, it just burns right up, which seems to be working pretty well. And I think when I get a airtight cap on that, it'll work even better. Plus, no gap, you know, I still got gaps here and gaps where it's all tack welded, where it's losing draft. And once that's all tightened up and insulated, it's going to run much better. But yeah, having fun here.